Now we are ready to move on to the watershed basin filter. Let's come and see what's the requirement of this filter. Let's just close here. Okay. It's asked for the filled dam. Okay, it's available. It's one of the output of the previous step. What else? Landslide points. Here I want to take your attention. Please search for the output. It's called landslides points, which is already in here in the first step, because it has some function here that I already extracted based on the, if you remember, duplication geometry. Please go and search for the landslide points. Yeah, which is in here already. We extracted here. This one in geometry and attribute, it's already tested. Now I advise you that for the minimum size of the exterior watershed, you leave this 1500, because this is what in the design of the tool for the hydrological mention this 1500 value and keep it like this. It doesn't have too much effect about your results, but here you can manage this. This is minimum area of one basin. Okay, so the tool will search to design. So it's advisable that this minimum, the minimum will be, even without, if you don't put any value here, it will take minimum area of 1 pixel. Our pixel is 100 meter now, correct? This is the filled dam. It's 100 meter. So what is the area of 1 pixel? It's 10,000 meters square. So if you keep 1000 here, it won't take it. It will take 10,000. So if you like, you can put the 10,000. If you like, you can increase. You will have bigger basin. The minimum will be bigger. So let's just go for the minimum. Okay. And what else? Step 1, step 2, filter elevation. It was asked for the elevation filter. Let's see, search for it. It's in here. Okay. That's all. So you see everything, it's come out from the previous step, but just we define this minimum. So if you want to increase it, you put 1 0 more. Okay. Or if you keep it just equal to the area of 1 pixel. Again, click in here, because otherwise results will mix up with the data. And let's run this one. Notice here we have 16 steps. Okay, here some warnings. You might say it's not an issue. Again, you will find something not responding. Please don't click anything. All the steps now will run one by one. If you have a delay, you can look where you are now, in which step. But as soon as our dam, it's 100 meter, so there is no issue. You can see 16 out of 16. It gives us the result without any error. We got the first, which is the important one, is the filter watershed. This was the result. So now we have filter 1, distance, elevation, watershed, and it gives us the basins of landslides. Now this is all the extracted basins that contain landslides. So if you see here, those basins, some of them contain rain gauges and some of them contain only landslide. So if you go to the northern landslides, where it was the landslide points, close in here and keep this down. Yes, all of those basins contain landslides. Okay, but this point here, it came out. If you see in the dam here, because the elevation is very it's quite small. If you check in here how much was the elevation for this dam, you have 29. So, and it's already almost with the it's an island. I think this is the airport. Yes, this is the airport area or something. So there is no elevation here quite, so there is no basin, so that's why I couldn't extract anything in here. Rather than this, we have basins in other places. So now the tool tested if there is any rain gauge within those basins. You see here how many rain gauge within the basins around the landslide. It's in here. Usually it's not that much, 24. So you understand now, we found 24 points within watersheds of some landslides. Let's give different color, then you can just let's give them this big one. Yes. So this rain gauge, it has distance within 15,000 meter from the landslide, and within 150 meter from this landslide, and also within the same rain gauge. So you see the rules applied on those rain gauges. Okay, out of this, you see, for example, here this one was not selected because out of it, if you open and close, yes, this was not considered to be, it's yes within 15 kilometer, but not within this basin. Cool. So now you understand how the things is going here. If you want to see those basins, let's just make them as outlines. Yes, if you see here the drains in this basins and the outlets, it's all basins generated based on our built dam. Yes, it's quite nice. If you want to look to the back end, let's see the back end of this watershed. It's not that much complicated, it's just the tool of watershed. So it's created the watershed, and then it took the it's select by attribute and select by location, and any rain gauge within the within this watershed, it was extracted, and also within the landslide places. This is the input, then you can check by yourself the back end of this tool. That's great. So now we have most of the filters. We have just the last filter left, which is the slope unit. Now we will search within, again, all the rain gauges, which one has the slope unit sharing with the landslide. That's mean very close to the landslide.